The Bug Strike Back update is one of the best that Grounded has had in a long time. It might not seem like it on the surface. They've just revamped a few systems, added the ability to upgrade our armors, and of course a lot of base defense features. And not everyone's down for that, but let me guide you through what I think are the 5 best features about this update and why I love them so much. There's always room to improve every idea, and I will be giving a little bit of what I think I could see maybe improving in future, but these ideas out of this update are simply making this game one of the best survival games going. So leave a like, and if you disagree or agree, leave a comment in down below, and let's go. So you guys asked, the devs have delivered armor upgrades. Contentious, yes, and they have already reduced the grind from initial feedback that basically said it was way too grindy getting some of the resources. And I think after the last set of changes, I think it's just about right now. Upgraded armor to go alongside our massively OP weapons is a fantastic idea, and the way the devs have done it by re-adding some of the perks that you need to now grind for a little bit, I think is also fair. Survival games are never about getting something super easy and quick or maintaining it forever. That's what durability was invented for, and so being able to go ahead and get some nice perks by putting the grind in and getting that armor up to its top tier, I think is a great idea. Again, it's not for everyone, I do understand that. A lot of RPG kind of style players are not really feeling it. But for most survival fans, you're used to the concept of having to grind out resources or find special recipes or get hold of certain things that will allow you to make the best armor in the game. And we're not even there yet. We still have mystery sets of armors to come from possibly bosses like the Mantis in the future. I love games that give me choice, and right now the armors are giving us a choice, whether or not we can bulk up on them, basically give more durability and more defensive stats, or we can go for a little bit lighter armor, even out of the heavy sets, and give ourselves some sort of extra perk. In some instances, the armor perks aren't as big or as amazing as I think some people want them to be, but again, it's about balance. No armor set should be able to last you the whole game once you get to that tier. You kind of always want that challenge or something that's going to maybe make it reduce in a while, unless you're going to put the work in to go and get the pieces for it. Without this, what is Grounded if it doesn't have a bit of grind? It's just an RPG game that everyone will be done and dusted in within about 8 hours. Most of the perks on the new armor sets, or revisioned perks, I think suit the job. They do it pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with where we are with armor at the moment. But of course there is room for improvement, and we've still got a long way to go. I don't think they're going to be releasing for another 5 or 6 months. With additional armor sets incoming as well, I feel like we're going to get even more choice in how you play your game, and that's the most important feature. Finding an armor set that suits you or for that purpose, and then being able to do what you want with it when you want. The grind to get it is important, and I feel like they've just about got the balance right, so I'm super happy that we now have upgradable armor. It may seem pretty small compared to some of the other stuff, but cards is absolutely fantastic. For too long, everyone has been wondering what they need to do to kill certain bugs and insects, but now we kind of know, unless of course it's a golden infected gnat. Obviously this does apply to most insects. It gives you good information about their weaknesses, about their resistances, and of course the newly added weak spots. That gotta catch 'em all kind of gameplay where we're all looking for the golden one, which you can only obviously get by killing and looting bugs rather than just peeping them to get the normal variant, is going to be fantastic. No more regular players having to look up stupid videos on YouTube that I've made, or the wiki. All the info that you need to know will be there as soon as you go ahead and start peeping some of the bugs. I absolutely love that it keeps a track of how many bugs you've killed. Again, setting up your own challenges that you're going to go ahead and kill 100 of every single creature. It adds more kind of gameplay for you to create yourself. With rewards going to be tied to the gold versions in the future, it's going to be really cool finding out all of these and desperately trying to be the first person to get all the gold versions. Base defenses are clearly the real winner out of this update. Once they get a little bit more tweaking, I feel like there's still a bit of work to do, where definitely the pollen shot needs to do a little bit quicker, and it would be nice to get actual dual shooting with this guy, or simply make it into a cannon rather than an actual turret firing 2 rocks. I'd like it to be a bit faster. They can absolutely wreck a few bugs within a short time, but I still feel like a lot of people might feel it'd be easier just to go ahead and use your weapons tools and go into actual combat with the bugs than using these. So a work in progress, and we are expecting a lot more base defense parts, but it's always been a big part of what I've loved so much. The idea of having honey traps and ice traps that we showed off for years now, but this is definitely a bit more than I imagined we'd get. Turrets that actually fire. They just got to make them a little bit more useful, a little bit more OP. I absolutely love the design of them though. I love the feel, the sound, the way they rotate. Yes, they don't shoot downwards exactly that nice, but if they're going to be adding even more stuff like this, either turrets, cannons, or even any of the other defences that we still think we might get, like honey traps, then I can't wait for this. So the WAFTER is probably one of my favourite things as well. In the actual game kind of preview of where they're talking about what they'll add in the future, they've always put something like player-generated gameplay or player-generated blueprints. That's exactly what the WAFTER is. It isn't really there just to be really useful. It's there to create fun and have an experience. If you want to do a horde event with you and your friends, you're a little bit bored and you want to have some action, then sling some bug parts in the WAFTER and go mad trying to defend your spot. It does need a little bit tweaking again. It would be nice to see more choice in bugs that will come and attack you, and certainly clear up why some bug parts work and some bug parts don't, but they've still got the stuff listed. But it is a great, again, first pass at this. And this is where they could be going in the future. As they've said, player-generated gameplay is like stuff like creative mode or Fortnite's creative mode, where you can be building and doing a lot more, creating and making your own mini games. Imagine if you can really tailor this WAFTER, so that you could put timers on it, so that you could increase the strength of the bugs even more and basically have more options. There's so much abilities there to create your own little mini games. And that's its job. It's not there to get bug parts, although you can get some. Obviously, you use up so many bug parts when you go ahead and utilize it, but it's definitely there to create more gameplay between you and your friends. Or you on your own if you're Billy No Mates like me. Still not too keen on the name, as it has some connotations in the UK, and I think maybe the actual art of the creature, I think that could be used work on. I'd like to see more a manufactured thing, something really chunky put together, a bit like their Abomination totem. That would be something cool, rather than just basically a dead ladybug. This list might seem pretty obvious, but they are the biggest features that I'm really enjoying, and that of course leaves number one as the mixer and the base rating mechanics. Grounded's an amazing game, but every player that's played it for a good 100 hours or so, and that's a lot of gameplay, must be sick of doing the same exact things or running around the same dungeons. And although we've still got content to come, it is a game that for many, they'll run through once or twice and that will be it, because it's not procedurally generated and there isn't as many things to do. Now we've got things like the WAFTER, and we've got things like the base rating and the cards and more. It all gives a bit more replayability, and it's the one thing I've been crying out for like literally a year and a half, maybe even two coming up to it, since I ever first revealed the base defense parts. This is exactly the type of mechanic a good survival game always needs. If you haven't got a huge, humongous world, something like Ark or Conan, where you've got a billion creatures attacking you and keeping you kind of busy, then you need something to help players keep them engaged. And that might seem annoying, like base raids. I've said it before, that in Valheim sometimes it can get that way over a period of time. So the balance has got to be right. It can't be just too hard, and it can't be too easy or too frequent that it does become annoying. You solve that by making sure that the rewards for defending your base are pretty decent. Now at the moment there aren't any rewards. Whether or not it ends up just being some cosmetic items you could earn, or pay maybe just an achievement for defending your base 50 times, but that's the kind of stuff I would love to see. I'd also like to see a little bit more work done with the factions. Could you trigger a faction against another? Got the red ants about to income? Then could you set up the WAFTER so that black ants will come and almost come to your defense and help out take out the red ones? But that unpredictability, that not knowing when you're going to get a bunch of bugs come and attack you sometimes, I think that's fantastic. They do probably need to work a bit more on the notification system for it, and I guess give us a bit of guidance on exactly how it works. Where do they go? What are they going to be attracted to most? Or don't worry, us YouTubers will work that out. But I also obviously love the mixer stuff as well, and I hope they make these replayable and we can increase the difficulty of them. Again, it's something you can do just for the fun of it, but you do get that big chunky reward of all them science points. Anytime you want to break from exploring or gathering resources or doing a dungeon, then let's whack on a mixer, or let's get ready and get prepped just in case another wave of enemies come. I know it's not to everyone's cup of tea. I've seen plenty of comments from players saying they don't want it to wreck their bases, or they don't like the mechanic. Well, you can turn that mechanic off. But 100% every game I've covered over the last 5-6 years that has either base defense and stuff like this in it, it always has a much healthier long-term player base than simply a great fantastic game that does get a bit boring once you complete it once or twice. Things like this really add to it and give a game a nice bigger length. So that's why it's my favourite feature. It's been the one I've been crying out most for, and I can't wait to dive into it even further, and hopefully they'll be adding more replays and stuff like that. But if not, it's been a great little addition, and yeah, I think it really suits the rest of the game.